Welcome to a special Stingrays TV. Joseph Zakshevsky with you, joined by former Stingrays defenseman Johann Kroll. And Johann, this week you are formally announcing your retirement from the game of professional hockey. And we spoke to Matt Shear and Pierre-Luc O'Brien, teammates of yours for quite some time. They also went into retirement this offseason as well. How difficult of a decision was it for you to make this next transition in your life?
It was extremely difficult, and I'm really appreciative that the Stingrays and Carbs gave me the opportunity to take the time all summer to make sure I made the right choice. And a number of factors went into it, physically and mentally. Physically, this last year took quite a toll on my body, and as we were talking earlier, I played quite a few minutes in this league, and there were times this year when we'd get done with a 3-3, and I'd wake up and I'd have a hard time putting on my socks in the morning. And I want to be able to play football with my kids in the yard someday. My wife's not crazy about me losing teeth and so forth, although that didn't play into the decision.
Yeah.
But physically it was a beating, and mentally as well. There's other things I want to do with my life, and I just felt it was the right time to make that transition.
Did the decisions of Matt Shear and Pierre-Luc O'Brien, some guys that you consider your close friends, kind of weigh on your mind also? Just because, they're moving on with their lives, and that locker room that consisted of a lot of guys from the 2009 championship team that you were a part of are no longer there?
You know what? I've had a couple people ask me that, and honestly, as much as I respect those guys and as much as I love those guys, it really didn't play into my decision at all. I'm going to make a choice that is independent of what those guys are doing, and based on what I believe is the best for myself and my family. So I think it's more of a coincidence that we're all kind of walking away from the game at the same time, but it really didn't have much of an effect at all.
Looking back on your career, not only with the Stingrays, but some of your time spent in the American Hockey League, you had a chance to be a part of a Calder Cup run with the Hershey Bears and get to hoist that Calder Cup over your head also, not to mention the Kelly Cup with the Stingrays. But what are some of the highlights that you really look back on, or that you have been looking back on as you transition to this next part of your life?
Oh, gosh. Like you said, to win 2 championships was phenomenal. Just the feeling of scoring goals, being in that locker room after big wins. There's just countless highlights over the years that I'll never forget. I'll take with me for as long as I live. And that's going to be, there's going to be some things that I'm going to miss about the game a lot. But at least I'll be able to look back on those successes and feel good about my career.
Looking at your time, not necessarily what happened on the ice, but are there any parts of your career just throughout, time in the locker room, time on the bus, time spent on the road or in certain cities? Is there anything you really think you're going to miss as you move on?
Yeah, the biggest thing is in the locker room. Getting to work in the morning, the locker room, and rolling in there at 8:30, 8:45, and having a cup of coffee and just sitting back watching SportsCenter with the guys, just chatting about nothing, really, just making fun of one another. And I think that'll be what I miss the most. The cards on the bus, movies on the bus, the road trips with the boys. Those are going to be the things that I think I'll really miss the most. And just that feeling of scoring a goal. There's nothing like it. It's not like I score a lot of them, but that feeling of watching the puck sail into the net, I'll miss that too.
What are some of your big memories of playing here in Charleston? Because in talking to Matt and talking to Pierre-Luc, they're going to call this place home for a while, and because they just, ever since they started their rookie season here, they've fallen in love with the community. How does it reflect on you?
I absolutely love Charleston. My wife absolutely loves Charleston as well. And, I was actually thinking about this earlier. All my time in the American League and all the times I got sent down, which was a lot of times throughout my career. I was always extremely, disappointed. But then there was always that silver lining, knowing that I was coming back to Charleston, and I could go to the beach the next day, and we love Charleston. It was just a wonderful city, wonderful people. The friends I've made here, Shirzy and Obi and Kai's, Ramfo, Carbs. I mean, people I would consider friends for life. And right now, we aren't certain if we'll be staying in Charleston, but there's a decent possibility we will. And like I said, we just love it. So I never thought that I would stay here forever, but it does. It just wears on you over the years, more and more. And last year, I would have told you, the minute I'm done playing hockey, I'm probably be heading back to Minneapolis and doing something up there. But at this point, we're on the fence and almost leaning towards staying here for good. So, we love it.
I know a lot of fans will be happy to hear that news, and if you do end up staying here. And a lot of fans are going to be sad because you're the guy that brought the music to all the Booster Club meetings and all the coaches shows and playing guitar, and you had a CD release earlier in your career. So with this time now, and last season you even admitted that you haven't been able to play a lot and pick up the guitar as much. You hoping in this downtime to maybe jump back into it?
Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day too. Maybe with some more weekends open and some more time at nights. Maybe we'll get the band back together. We'll see how that goes. But if I do stay in town, maybe take it more seriously again. I mean, who knows? But
well, Matt Shear's going to want to jump in on that, and DJ Church also.
Absolutely.
Well, now that brings me to the next big question, and talking with Pierre-Luc, he had a career set in mind, and Matt Shear was excited to explore the opportunities in front of him. But what's next? What's next for Johann Kroll? What are we going to be seeing you doing here in town, or possibly back home?
Yeah, so, right now I'm working just temporarily, making some cash on the side with Team Collier handyman services, which has been really neat because I get to learn to do some handyman stuff around the house and actually make some dollars in the meantime. But more long term, I'm doing some networking here in Charleston. There's a couple startup companies that are still in their infancy but show promise, and so I'm considering things in there. Also, my degree's in finance. You talk to the guys, I have a real passion for the stock market and financial markets in general. I was blessed with a fairly good analytical mind, and so I don't know. I'd love to get into the financial services industry at some point. Maybe even open up my own shop, someday. But that's probably a little further down the line. But, so a lot of uncertainty. I'm just gonna kind of live with the flow, kind of go with it, and see where it takes me. Hopefully, staying here though.
Well, since you have all your support here with Shear and O'Brien, and you mentioned other guys like Ramfo and who is still in town, and Kaiser who are still in town, do you feel like just having that support group is going to make things easier for you emotionally? Because when it comes time to training camp rolling around, or it comes time to that home opener and the alumni game, which I understand you're going to be playing with us, it might be a little tough. Did you ever give any thought to that?
Yeah, it will be tough, and the guys have different perspectives. For me, I know it'll be tough, but I can't wait to come to a Stingrays game and be able to sit back and really enjoy the game instead of stressing myself out, being all anxious about making the right plays and so forth. I'm excited to go and watch the guys battle and play hard and really watch this organization continue to grow. So, like you said, it will be extremely tough at times. I'm a guy that really liked to battle, and I'm gonna miss being in those corners, hacking at people, the back of their legs. But I'm confident in the decision I've made, and I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to be watching games.
Johann, thank you.
No, thank you, Joy.